There is a moment almost every cat owner experiences sooner or later, and once it happens, it becomes impossible to forget. You are sitting quietly somewhere in your house. Maybe you are lying on your bed after a long day. Maybe you are scrolling through your phone without thinking too much about anything. Then suddenly you feel something strange. Not a sound, not movement, just a feeling. The feeling that someone is watching you. You slowly look up, and there is your cat. Still, silent, eyes fixed directly on you without blinking. Not for 1 second, not for 2 seconds, but long enough for you to start wondering what is happening inside your cat's mind. Most people laugh it off at first. Some people find it cute. Others find it uncomfortable. Some even look away because the eye contact feels unusually intense. But almost nobody stops to ask the deeper question. Why do cats do this? Why would an animal that spends most of its life appearing calm, independent, and emotionally unreadable suddenly stare at a human being with complete focus and silence? The answer is more fascinating than most people realize. Because when your cat stares at you without blinking, it is not simply looking at you. It is observing you in a way that is deeply connected to instinct, emotional awareness, survival behavior, trust, curiosity, and environmental reading. Humans naturally interpret eye contact emotionally. We assume staring means affection, anger, dominance, or emotional attachment because that is how humans experience eye contact. But cats do not experience the world the same way humans do. Cats are creatures of silent observation. They do not explain themselves with words. They do not announce their feelings openly. Instead, they survive through awareness. Every movement, every sound, every shift in routine, and every emotional change inside the environment gets processed quietly inside their mind. That means your cat is always studying the world around it, even when it appears relaxed, even when it looks sleepy, even when it seems uninterested. Cats constantly gather information because survival for animals depends on awareness. In nature, missing important information can mean danger. That survival instinct never fully disappears, even in domestic cats living comfortable lives indoors. So when your cat stares at you without blinking, what you are witnessing is concentrated attention. Your cat is processing information, your posture, your movement, your breathing, your emotional tone, your level of tension. Cats are experts at recognizing patterns, and humans eventually become part of those patterns. This is why many pet owners notice their cats behaving differently around them during stress, sadness, grief, illness, or emotional exhaustion. Some cats become more affectionate. Some stay physically closer. Some simply observe more carefully from a distance. That is not imagination. Cats are highly sensitive observers of behavioral changes. Researchers who study feline behavior have observed that cats often engage in prolonged visual attention during moments of environmental assessment. In simple terms, cats stare when they are mentally processing something important around them. Sometimes that something is physical, sometimes emotional, sometimes social, and sometimes the cat is simply monitoring a familiar human to maintain environmental understanding. Cats build trust differently from dogs. Dogs often communicate emotions openly and directly. Cats are more subtle. Cats build trust through consistency and predictability. A cat slowly learns who you are through repeated observation over time. It studies how you move, how you react, how you sound, and whether your behavior creates stability or uncertainty. To a cat, predictability equals safety. Unpredictability creates caution. So when your cat stares at you calmly without blinking, it can sometimes represent comfort with your presence. Not dramatic love in a human sense, but trust in your stability. Your cat has learned that you are safe enough to observe without fear. And in the animal world, attention matters. Animals do not focus deeply on things they completely disregard. If your cat repeatedly watches you calmly and comfortably, it means your presence remains mentally important inside the cat's awareness system. But context changes everything. Not every stare means the same thing. Sometimes a stare is connected to curiosity. Cats are naturally curious animals. If you suddenly behave differently than usual, your cat may stare simply because it is processing the change. Maybe you are crying. Maybe you are speaking loudly. Maybe your routine changed. Cats notice these things. Other times, a stare can represent anticipation. Cats are excellent routine learners. If you feed your cat at the same time every day, it remembers. If you usually walk toward the kitchen before feeding it, the cat learns that pattern. Over time, your cat begins predicting your actions before they happen. Some owners describe this like mind reading, but it is not mind reading. It is advanced pattern recognition built through observation. There is also another side to prolonged staring that many people misunderstand: environmental scanning. Cats have extremely sensitive hearing and environmental awareness. They can detect tiny sounds humans completely miss. When cats enter high attention states, they often become visually locked and intensely focused. In those moments, the stare may not even be about you personally. You are simply located within the cat's field of focus while it processes surrounding information. One important thing many people forget is that cats communicate through subtle behavior more than dramatic emotional displays. They communicate through presence, space, movement, observation, routine. This is why a cat may avoid constant touching while still choosing to stay in the same room as you every day. Some cats prefer proximity over physical interaction. They want to remain near you without necessarily being handled. That quiet closeness itself is a form of trust. So the next time your cat stares at you without blinking, do not rush to assume it is random. Your cat is paying attention. Real attention. The kind of attention animals use to survive, bond, learn, and understand the world around them. And you have become important enough to remain inside that attention.